It is a pleasure being with you once more right here. We are presenting live in Douala, where it's our headquarters. Once more, good day, and thank you for choosing Equinoxe Radio and television to be informed on health matters or matters related to health issues. Today, we are going to be talking about obesity and overweight. Determining whether someone is overweight or obese is sometimes a difficult task for some persons, but at the end of this program, we will definitely know when to say someone is obese. Obesity does not happen overnight. It develops with time as a result of poor diet and lifestyle choices, such as eating large amounts of processed or fast food, which is high in sugar and fats. After the short break, I and my guests will be dissecting all you need to know about obesity. Once more, thank you for staying with us. With me right here in the studio is Dr. Glory Befeke Epus Anye. She is a general practitioner at the St. John's Memorial Clinic in Susa and Douala. It is a pleasure having you on the program today.
Thank you, Immaculate. It's a pleasure as well.
So today we are going to be talking about obesity. It's something that I've noticed that's on the rise right here in Cameroon. Lots of people have been complaining. They don't even know if they are obese, if they are overweight. So tell us, what exactly is obesity?
Well, Immaculate, in simple terms, obesity is a condition in which one is grossly fat or overweight. Now, one can quantify this condition with some parameters. If you want to say one is obese, then we have to look at the weight of the individual and the height of the individual as well. So overweight or obese, they go hand in hand with these two parameters. For a healthy individual, you just need to take your weight and you divide that weight on your height. You square the height. And if that parameter should fall between 18.5 to 29.9 to 24.9, then you are a healthy individual. This pertains especially for adults, women, and men. If you start going, your body mass index, we call that one body mass index. If you start going above 25 to 29.9, then there you are obese, and above 30 you are overweight, and above 30 you are obese. So we have overweight and we have obese based on the body mass index of each individual.
Okay, I want us to take a practical example. Imagine someone who has a height of 1.70 m. So now, what is the normal weight for such a person?
For such a person, it equally depends on the weight of the individual.
Yeah. What should be the normal weight for that type of person?
For the normal weight of that individual, it should be ranging like 60, 65.
Okay, the person should not go above 70.
Above 70.
Okay.
Yes. So you just have to take this parameter, your weight. Once you have your weight with you, you take the weight in kilograms. In kilograms, you divide the weight by your height. You have to square the height. If your height is 1.70 m, you have to do 1.70 m times 2, or 1.70 m times 1.70 m if you wish. Then you take the weight, maybe 60, divided by 1.70 m times 2, then you have the body mass index. For a healthy individual, I repeat, is between 18.5 to 24.9. Once you fall within that range, then you are healthy.
Okay.
Now, when you start going above 25 to 29.9, there you are overweight. And when you get into 30 to 35, now we start classifying you obese, class 1 obesity, 35 above to 39.9, that is class 2 obesity, and above 40, there you are like something morbid obesity or severe obesity. So obesity comes from a body mass index as from 30 and above.
So now, what are the major causes of obesity in the Cameroonian context?
Well, with the urbanization and the westernization in Cameroon, not only Cameroon, in the world at large, these factors come to influence the body mass index of individuals. in Cameroon, we are blessed with the natural resources, but some families want to go urban, start eating fast foods, the junks, maybe pastries, baked sugars, coated food items, and with such menu all the time, and with little exercise, because it comes with eating too much of these poor health diets and moving very little. If you eat a lot of these high calorie dense chunked food and you don't burn them out with exercise, then these fats will be accumulated in the body and it will build up. In the Cameroonian context, due to the urbanization, we really witness this. We see like if you take the statistics with the Food and Agricultural Organization, in the year 2000, they had an obese rate in Cameroon of 4.9%, and going to 2016, it had risen to about 9.8%. So you see, there was that kind of a rise, and I think there's still the rise. I don't really have the recent statistics, but there is an indication of a rise, constant rise in obesity in Cameroon.
For those suffering with obesity, what are some of the health risks they can encounter?
Right. Now, with obesity, just as we've explained, it's accumulate excess fats in the body. Just imagine you carry heavy weight on maybe your head. You always be weighing your neck, and you always be in a kind of painful situation. So those risk factors, if your body, the mass is really huge, your heart will start having problems. Now you see such individuals experiencing maybe high blood pressure, cardiovascular risk factors, even right up to stroke. Then equally, with the high calorie intake of foods and those fat sugars in the body, sometimes you will have an excess in the bloodstream, and that may lead to diabetes type 2. Equally, it can even lead to some cancers, maybe like the breast cancers, when the mass, the tissue mass, mammary mass is really huge. Equally, endometrial cancers, equally colon cancers. Okay. So there are high risks to that the body can experience when one is faced with this obese or metabolic syndrome situation. Obesity.
For those who would like to participate in the program, you can call the following numbers: 652-0250. I repeat, 652-025050. Back to you, doctor. Can a child be considered obese?
You're right. A child can be considered obese when this body mass index, as we explained, goes beyond the normal range. Equally, we have some other factors like the hereditary factors. Again, hereditary is not a destiny or destination for an individual. It's all about the lifestyle choices. Now, for a child, a child can become obese when maybe the mother, right from the prenatal age, has been eating not very healthy. Maybe the mother has been exposed to these fast foods, the junks, sugars. Then you're putting your baby at risk at that kind of condition. And equally, when the baby is born, you introduce the baby to candies, a lot of candies, and the baby spends longer times watching the screen, TVs, movies, and doing little moving exercises. You plunge that child into that state already. So a child can be obese.
Okay, but lots of pregnant women, there's this urge to eat something at all times. How can they fight against that in order to protect their children?
Yeah, it's about the choices. If you want your child to be healthy, then you have to discipline yourself and make good choices. So we are blessed with lots of natural, beautiful fruits, and also, as a pregnant woman, exercises are equally necessary. Eat lots of vegetables, fruits, and exercise as well, and your baby will be healthy.
Can obesity affect a person's sex life?
Right. When one is overweight, you have a lot of fat in you. It can slow your desire for sexual activity. Okay. Yeah. It can even destroy, or you can get into difficulty with sexual performance. And in some cases, it can equally affect reproduction. It is very possible.
For women or for the men, or both?
Both.
Okay.
Yes.
Then now, when we are talking about obesity, are the manifestations between that of a child and that of an adult the same?
Well, with the child is about depending. The child is still a dependent on the parents. Now, with the adult, you have to, you are the master of the family, and you have to fend for the family. Imagine you're obese and you're already exposed to some cardiovascular risk factors. There, the family will be at risk. So, a man or a woman being obese is a little bit different from a child being obese because of these activities that are different.
Is there any cure for obesity?
The cure for obesity is about making good lifestyle choices. You can, by avoiding sedentary lifestyles, not sitting, like the sit-down activities, watching the screen for too long, you have to carry out some exercises and reduce the intake of these high-calorie fat foods and eat a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruits. And I think basically it's about the exercise. It's about eating little and equally exercising more, and not eating too much and exercising too less.
You talked about a healthy lifestyle. Let's talk about the food. What are some of the foods that you can advise people who are obese to live on?
Vegetables, fruits, whole grains, not the refined grains.
For example?
Your meals have to be balanced. Mm-hmm. The whole grains like the brown rice.
Okay.
Now the ndop rice, it's a good source of whole grain.
Okay.
The refined.
We have a call on the line. We're getting back to you. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Your name, where you're calling from, and your question.
This is Peter Mabo Peter, calling from Banjul is in Pakistan.
Okay, sir.
Now, I just want Doctor to give us again that formula to measure obesity. She said you take the height,
yes,
you multiply by 2, and what did you again?
Okay, she's going to do the explanation very soon now. Thank you for participating.
Okay, please, that's my question.
Okay. So he wants to know how one can tell he's obese, like the measurement.
Right. The body mass index formula, you take your weight. You divide your weight by your height square. You have to take your height and you square it. You take your height and you square. And the normal value for a healthy individual, you should be within the range of 18.5 to 24.9. If you're overweight, you fall within the range of 25 to 29.9. And if you're obese, you will be ranging within 30 and above. Now, there are classifications, as I earlier stated. You have obesity class 1, 2, and up to 3 and above. So it's the weight in kilograms divided by your height in meters square. You square that height and you have the value.
Before he called, we were talking about the type of food, and you were talking about whole grains, which is good for people who are obese. And apart from whole grains, you talked about fruits and vegetables. So how should they be taken? Is there a manner in which we are supposed to take that, or we can just take that all the time?
Right. Each of the meal we have each day should contain these carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Little chunks of it, not in its entirety. Now, in the morning, you can get some brown whole bread.
Okay.
Egg. The bread, that's carbohydrate.
Yes.
The egg, you have proteins. And a little bit of fats. Just a little. Because it's about the quantity as well. Someone will tell you, oh, I don't eat. I literally don't eat, but I grow fat. That's a lie. Because they say you are what?
Okay, we have another call on the line. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your name, where you're calling from, and your question.
Yes, I'm Pastor Give. I'm calling from Ijina, Southwest region.
Okay, Pastor Gift. Your question?
I want to...
Oh, we just lost that caller. So we're talking about the food before we end the program, yeah.
Yeah. So, and the fruits as well. We should equally have some fruits. So each meal should have a little of these good classes of foods, the carbohydrates, the proteins, and the fat. I think the landmark in all of this is to eat little and equally do exercise. Don't eat too much and don't exercise too little.
Eat little and equally do lots of exercise. That's the word from Dr. Glory Befeke Epuzo Anye. And that's where we are ending this edition of the program, You and Your Health, aired on Equinoxe Radio Multimedia. For presentation, I am Immaculate Fogwe, and I received technical assistance from Raphael Dipanda. Have a lovely day in the company of more programs on Equinoxe Radio and television. So long.
Equinoxe Télévision, au-delà de l'image, nous rendons compte.
7 conseils pour se protéger contre le nouveau coronavirus.